Welcome to the Investfourmore Real Estate Podcast. My name is Mark Ferguson, and I am your host. I'm a house flipper. I flip 10 to 15 houses a year. I own 13 rental properties with a goal to buy 100 by 2023. I'm also a real estate agent. I've been licensed since '01. I run a team of 9. We sell close to 200 houses a year. So on this show, we like to interview house flippers, landlords, and the best real estate agents in the business. So stay tuned for some great shows. If you want more information on my rentals, on the numbers, how I buy properties, check out Investfourmore.com. Hey everyone, it's Mark Ferguson with Investfourmore. Welcome to another episode of the Investfourmore Real Estate Podcast. I have a lot of exciting things to talk about today. Going to give you an update on my business, what's going on the early part of 2016, what I'm hoping to accomplish, some good things, some bad things, and go from there. So I have a lot going on as far as rental property strategies, fix and flip strategies. I'm even planning possibly a minor subdivision, probably going to be buying properties in a different location, all kinds of things going on. So hopefully I can catch you up, give you an idea of what's going on in my life, my investing, and hopefully it will help you out in your investing as well. So the first thing I want to talk about, many of you are probably familiar with my complete blueprint for successful real estate investing. I recently raised the price on that just because, there's a lot of time I take on my coaching, on my investing, on my real estate team. There's only so much I can do. And I still spend as much time as I possibly can with my family. I have 4-year-old twins. So I had to raise the price on that just because of the sheer amount of emails I get doing coaching calls, different things, which is taking up a lot of time. But I want to let you know I'm adding some new features to it. So one thing that's going to be really fun is as soon as you sign up for that course, I'm going to have you fill out an intake form, which basically gives me a description of what your current investing, your real estate life looks like, and what you need help with right away. So as soon as you fill that out, it goes directly to me. I can review that and email you back an answer within 24 hours of what I think the best thing you can do is right now, the best path you can take, the number one thing, they'll help you get started right away, either buying your first properties or buying more properties or changing strategies. I really love problem solving, and that's fun for me. So that's a new thing we have going for the blueprint. And then also for my podcast listeners, I always like to give you guys a deal because I appreciate your support. So if you use SALE 25, you get 25% off the blueprint. Again, that's SALE 25, SALE 25. All right, moving on. I've had a lot of exciting things going on with my fix and flip business. I have 9 flips right now. I sold one last week, and then I am selling 2 more this month. So I went kind of through a dry spell with selling my fix and flips because I had some contractor problems, some project manager problems. I will talk about that a little bit. But things are back in the flow, selling properties. Things are getting repaired quicker, buying more properties. So I'm really happy with the way things are going in 2016 so far. So just give you a few numbers on some of the properties I sold. The one I sold last week, I bought for $95,000, and that was from an auction. I bought that, I don't have the exact date, about 6 months ago. I put about $30,000 of work into it, needed a new roof, new carpet, new flooring, new bathroom, some new siding, lots of work on that one. Of course, paint everywhere. Ended up selling it for $185,000. So that was a good deal. I was pretty happy with those numbers. Another one I'm selling in a couple weeks, I bought for $107,000. We put about $25,000 of work into that one. It needed paint, carpet, kitchen. Had to do the sewer line. That was unexpected, came up during the inspection, but we had to rerun a sewer line, which cost about $6,000. That one I bought for $107,000. We're selling it for $190,000. So those are good numbers on that one too. Happy with that all the time. Found that one on the MLS. And then another one I'm selling this month, I bought for $75,000. Put about $60,000 of work into this property, and we're selling it for $220,000. So on the surface, those numbers look awesome, but that was an absolute nightmare of a property. Things may always seem like they go smooth with me. They do not. I run into my fair share of problems. I make my fair share of mistakes. That one, it was listed for $100,000 on the MLS. I saw it right away. It was totally gutted. No drywall, no bathrooms, no kitchen, no electrical, no plumbing. Someone else had wanted to flip it. They either ran out of money or decided that, they didn't want to take on such a big project, so they sold it. I offered them $50,000. They counted me at $75,000. I said, "Great, I will take it." At that time, I thought the house was probably worth $180,000, and I thought I could get it fixed for about $40,000 or $50,000. But my first problem started out with I didn't get anything started on it for about 3 to 4 months until after I bought it. It was such a big project. I had a lot of other houses going on. I waited to get anything started, and I was kind of hoping someone might come along and buy it from me for like $100,000 without me doing any work, but that did not happen. So I found a contractor who said he could do it. Said he had a huge crew, get it done in 2.5 months. He gave me an estimate for 50-some thousand, which I was pretty happy with. And yeah, got started. I paid him a deposit for materials. Things were moving along. I'd check in every few weeks. His whole crew was there working. About 2 months into it, I noticed we weren't anywhere close to that 2.5-month time frame he'd given me. So I asked him about it. Of course, normal things come up. Electrical is tougher than we thought. Plumbing is tougher than we thought. And but he still promised to be done, pretty soon, maybe another month, month and a half. And what happened next was he was due for his third payment, third draw, and I paid him with a check. I turned in my invoice so my accounting person could file it. She thought I hadn't paid it. She paid him again. So he got a double payment, which basically paid him up for the whole amount of the project. As soon as he got paid everything, he basically vanished. I mean, he worked on the house, but I would show up, there'd be nobody there. I would call him. He wouldn't return texts. He wouldn't return calls. Basically, this went on for months. And he would return a text or a call about a week or two later saying, "Oh, my partner is suing me. My life's falling apart. My wife's, all this, an excuse every single time." And basically, he was working there about 1 day every 2 weeks. So I should have just fired him right away. But I was tied into the property because I'd already paid him, and I wanted to get my money's worth. A couple of mistakes on that one. But basically, it took him like 6 more months to finish the property, and I had to threaten to sue him. It was just crazy. So even though the numbers are really good on that property, the whole experience was not that great. And it took me a total of 16 months to get to this point, which is just really horrible. But it's finally to the end. I'm still going to make some money on it thanks to our market going up so much. And we found out after the contractor finally finished everything, he hadn't done a bunch of this stuff right. So I left him a lot of really fun and happy reviews on Yelp and Angie's List, and that's it, sarcastic, for I did not leave him good reviews. But what's done is done. I can move on and make things better, and things are going much better now. So I'm selling those 3 properties this month. I've got another one on the market that we just finished up, and then all my other properties are being worked on right now, so they should be done in the next month or so, except for one of my flips, and this is my very interesting flip. I've talked about it a little bit before, but I bought a $535,000 flip that had a tenant in it. So I bought the property knowing the tenant was there, knowing I'd have to deal with the tenant. Lots of things happened, but I can't really talk about all of it because there may or may not be some legal issues going on. But long story short, the tenant's still there. They're paying me rent. They may be there until January of 2017. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, or even maybe a little longer. But they're paying me rent, so I'm holding the property. That house is probably worth between $800,000 and $850,000 as it is. So it's really just a waiting game unless we come to some kind of agreement. But risky investment, it's always, you never know what you're going to get exactly when you buy a house that's occupied. Sometimes you can get them out very quickly. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes there's other things going on you don't know about. But I'm still excited for the house. I saw inside the house a couple of weeks ago, and it is in great shape. Needs almost no work. So if I can get possession at some point in the next year, I'll be very happy. The house is probably worth, like I said, we're guessing about $840,000. So that'll be a good one once that gets completed. I also have talked about my project manager experiment last year. Did not go as I planned. Thought it would be great to have someone managing all my flips. all my rental property repairs, managing contractors, building the system, and things just did not go well. So we've parted ways. I no longer have a project manager. I'm having my team manage our contractors, and things are going fantastic the last month and a half so far doing that system. We've got new contractors on board. We're getting a system created where we have subs who we can hire to do jobs. We're not relying on one contractor to do the entire job. So we'll have a sub for electric, plumbing, roof, HVAC, flooring, plumbing, and then we're also trying to make it so that we have subs for drywall, subs for painting, maybe a kitchen and bath sub, windows. So we're trying to really separate out the jobs and do them individually so that we can get things done faster. We can have multiple people working on different jobs at the same time. And if you're hiring out individual jobs, a lot of times you can get it done cheaper than having one person manage the whole flip themselves, doing all the work themselves. That's kind of where I've run into the biggest problems. The house I sold, or I'm going to be selling, that had the contractor issue, he was doing everything himself. Plumbing, electrical, HVAC, all of it. And he said he had a big crew who could handle it, but it just did not work out well. So we're really working on building a subsystem. I think that'll be a much better way to handle the repairs going into the future. All right, for my rental properties, I have not bought a rental in a long time. I think it's been almost 6 months. And that does not help me get any closer to my goal to buy 100 rentals. I'm stuck on 16. But that doesn't bother me too much because I have a lot of opportunities coming up. I've got some new strategies I'm working on. One of the reasons I have not bought properties here is because our prices are so high in Colorado. I've said this a number of times. We have one of the highest appreciating markets in the country. And our median price, has gone from the low 100,000s, 120. Now it's up over 240,000 in my area. So our prices have doubled. And it's really, really hard to find properties that cash flow now. Even when I'm buying below market value, even when I'm getting really good deals, the cash flow still is just really tight. I find myself buying properties that aren't that great, need more work than I want, or they're not in locations that I like to buy in. So I have made the decision. I'm almost certainly going to buy another market. And I have a trip booked to Florida in March. So we will see what I find down there. I had been looking in the Pensacola area, Orlando, Tampa, all over the place, Fort Myers, Jacksonville. I'm going with my family, so we decided we'd make it a beach fun vacation while we're there, and then I could check out some properties too. So we're going to end up going to the Vero Beach area, staying in Orlando for a little bit too, and mostly hanging out on the beach, having fun, but also I'll be checking out some properties, checking out some areas for rentals as well while I'm down there. I have a few connections in the area, and we'll see what I can find. So in order to buy properties down there, I could do it how I have been doing, using my income from flips from the real estate team to put money down, make repairs on properties, which I think I will do. But I'm also looking at ways to use my equity. I talked about this before in other podcasts. So I have a couple options. I could sell some of my properties, 1031 exchange them into properties in Florida, or I could refinance some of my properties here and use that money to buy more properties in Florida. So I'm currently exploring both options. I have applied with Jordan Capital Finance to refinance quite a few of my rentals into 30-year fixed rate loans. So I'm waiting for them to get back to me on what they can do. I think my whole package with their underwriters right now. And then I've also checked into selling some of my properties. So my properties that maybe have tenants moving out soon or aren't in the best areas for where I like to invest. And I'm looking to exchange those. So when I exchange a property to a 1031 exchange, there's a few things you have to be careful of. One, I have to make sure any cash I take out of the property is put into the new properties. So if I make $100,000 selling a property, I have to make sure all that $100,000 is spent on the new property or properties. Likewise, I have to make sure the new property or properties are just as expensive as the property I sold. Because in a 1031 exchange, the debt is considered, a liability. So if you're reducing your debt, if I took that $100,000 in cash and I bought a $100,000 property with that cash I made from the 1031 exchange, I would be wiping out $100,000 of debt if I sold that house for $200,000. So even though all my cash is invested, I was wiping out $100,000 in debt, and the IRS would consider that a gain, and I could be taxed on the debt I was wiping out. So I have to make sure I buy, if I sell a $200,000 house, I have to buy another $200,000 house, or I could buy two $100,000 properties, three $75,000 properties, whatever it works out to be. So I think my plan is going to be sell one here, use that money to probably buy two or three at a time if I can down in Florida. So I'll be exchanging one property here for multiple properties down there. I'll have to find a really good lender. That'll be probably the biggest challenge. And obviously I want to find some great cash flowing properties that I can get a great deal on as well down there. So that's the plan so far on my rental properties. We'll see how that goes. My rentals have been doing great up here, but it's just too hard to cash flow right now. And I know a lot of people across the country run into that. So we'll see how my adventure down in Florida goes. I'm also looking for other areas of the country too still. I've seen some decent properties numbers all over the place, but really if I'm going to be buying properties in another location like this, I want to be able to go down there and see them a couple times a year if I can. And so if I can buy in a place like Florida where it can be a vacation, we can have fun at the same time, it makes it so much easier than if I'm just going there to, look at properties in Cleveland or somewhere where there's not a whole lot else going on. All right, for my real estate team, we've been going really well. We had another agent coming on at the start of the year, but he ended up running into some issues. He's going back to Florida, so that's actually one of my connections in Florida. We're looking for new agents all the time. So right now we're really looking for a Spanish-speaking agent who can help fulfill that need in our area. We have a lot of people who contact us who speak Spanish who we can't really help. We have to refer to other agents. So we're looking for an agent on our team who can speak Spanish and English. Our foreclosures, HUD homes, way down with the rising prices. We just have very few foreclosures in our area, very few HUD homes. And that's been my primary business as a real estate agent the last, 8-9 years. So for me personally, I am not doing much as an agent, which is okay with me because I can concentrate on the blog. I can concentrate on the flipping, on the rental properties. And then my team, the other agents on the team, they're doing really well. They're selling more houses. They're doing a lot of retail sales, really learning a lot. So I'm really proud of my team. They're doing a great job. Like I said, I've mentioned it before. One agent on our team made over $100,000 his first year. Actually, two agents did. And then we got a new agent this year who is, we'll see, he's doing really well. I don't know if he'll get quite there, but he's doing really well in his first year as well. So I do have a real estate agent training program too, if people are interested. The 6-figure real estate agent success system. So, yeah, but it's really fun seeing the team sell houses and do work without me having to personally be involved in it. Another thing we really have had success with lately is we are Zillow Premier agents. So we've used Zillow to give us leads and different sources of people buying or selling houses, which has been okay. It hasn't been awesome. It hasn't been horrible either. But we use Zillow's website kind of as an easy way to have our own site hosted by Zillow. They have their own IDX, which means a program that shows MLS listings on your website. Well, we made the decision about a month ago, maybe it was 2 months ago, to move everything to our own website. So we moved it to fergusongreeley.com. We'd have some articles we've been writing for the blog, done a lot of cool different things, really focused on our team. And ever since we moved from Zillow to our own website, our lead generation has gone through the roof. It is crazy. We haven't been getting that much more traffic. We haven't been doing anything really different, but we focused on advertising our team. We're not advertising listings. We're not trying to become a Zillow that shows every house for sale or, almost every house for sale. But we just focused on our team, who we are, what we do, what we're about, our experience. And we've been having people fill out our forms, call us, email us, just saying, we really liked your website. We're looking for a real estate team, a real estate agent to help us. And you really stood out because you focused on, who you are, what you're about. It wasn't a website just showing real estate listings, which I think is what so many real estate agent websites have turned into, is just kind of like another source to find MLS listings. And we want to differentiate ourselves away from that. And so that has really helped our real estate team as well. All right, so that's pretty much everything that's going on in the business right now. Oh, I forgot one thing. I am going into a new real estate investing technique, we'll say. I have 34 acres under contract out in the country. So it's about 15 miles north of me or so. Came on the market, was super cheap. I couldn't believe how cheap it was. I made an offer right away, got it accepted. But I have a couple options. One, I could probably flip the 34 acres, sell it, make a good profit. Or two, I can create my own minor subdivision. So I think I might try this and see how it works. What happens is I have to, apply with the county. This property's not in the city, it's in the county, which is nice. I have to apply with the county, get some plans drawn up, make sure public water is available. So public water doesn't mean it has to be city water, but there's county water right by the property. So I'd have to buy water taps for the lots, make a little dirt road, and then I could probably divide it into 6 or 7 lots and then sell those for sell each lot for close to what I bought the property for in total. So there's going to be a lot of expenses paying for the water. Water taps are about $30,000 a piece, getting a little road built, surveying, of course, applying with the county. So there will be a lot of work involved, but I think it'll be fun. And I think it'll be really cool to kind of create my own little subdivision. Another thing, it takes about 6 to 7 months, they said, to go through the approval process with the county. I have to have some hearings, let the neighbors chime in, see if they're okay with the subdivision. Have to go through all the planning, all the applications, and then the county commissioners decide if they'll approve the subdivision or not. So it's a little risky. You could go through that whole process and not get anything approved. But I think the risk reward is there, and there is just a huge demand for lots, for land in our area. So we'll see how that goes. All right, that's all I've got for today. A little shorter podcast, but full of great information, I hope. As always, if you guys want to shoot me an email, mark@investfourmore.com. All my coaching, all the systems I do, those are all done with me. When you email me, when you have questions, that's me answering questions. So love to see some more people join up. We have a lot of really great conference calls. We had a couple yesterday with a ton of people participating. It's a lot of fun. And that new intake form should be really fun too if you're looking to really get started right away and get started on the right path towards increasing or starting your real estate investments. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a great week.